Welcome to the latest Motley Fool scoreboard. I'm on Inchakavaloon. We've got longtime fools, David Meyer and Lou Whiteman, giving a 1 to 10 rating to collaborative software maker Atlassian, ticker symbol TEAM, good ticker. We use some of its products like Jira here at The Fool, so this will be interesting. Talk about the business first, including factors like industry and competition. A 10 is invincible, a 1 is hopeless. David's at an 8. Lou, you're at a 7.
Yeah, so this pains me a bit because I got to say some of these products kind of bug me. And Jira, yeah, I'm looking at you, but it's really hard to knock the collection of assets they have here. And as you said, the ticker is team, and what they're all about is helping teams work together. We really saw the need for these tools during the pandemic when we were all spread out, but even with the return to work, just the automating and coordinating collaboration fills a real need. They serve a real purpose. Why a 7? There's the potential for competition everywhere here. Microsoft is ever present in a lot of these areas, and the firepower and the reputation, they never back down. We've also been going through a transition to the cloud, which is fraught with danger and is sort of just kind of something to get through. But these are good, established, sticky products, hard to go wrong. So, pretty solid here.
Yeah, I think Lou is spot on when he says this is a very competitive space. It absolutely is. One of the things I think that differentiates and is really starting to differentiate Team, which is also a great ticker, is its AI services. Atlassian Intelligence and Rovo work across the Jira and Confluence, and then Rovo actually brings in data from other SaaS products that a user might have. When you bring those things together and you create a good experience for a user, that makes actually Atlassian stronger. And what it can do is generate more customers as well as improve renewals as you get more data running through those AI systems.
For management, a 10 is Warren Buffett, a 1 is Homer Simpson. David, both of you have 8s.
Yeah, so I'll come right out and say I've never been a fan of any dual CEO system, but it worked at Atlassian for quite a while. I think it's really interesting that the company named Brian Duffy as the chief revenue officer at a time when its product/platform offering is getting a boost from AI. So we'll see how they sell it. But based on his experience, that should serve the company well.
Yeah, same score for all the same reasons, so I won't belabor. I just point out Duffy, I noticed the same thing. 18 years at SAP, a really good track record, seems like the kind of hands that you want the company in as they mature to the next level. So, no complaints.
Financials, a 10 is a fortress, a 1 is yikes. Lou's at a 6. David, you're at a 7, so a little lower than the other categories.
Yeah, so the company recapitalized its balance sheet in fiscal year 2022 and started repurchasing some shares in fiscal year 2023 at significantly lower valuation multiples. So that's a good use of capital from that standpoint. I would like to see some scale in the income statement, but the company does generate plenty of cash flow, stock compensation notwithstanding.
Yeah, a lot to like here. Pristine balance sheet right now. Business is growing. I'm at a 6 really because it's not as growing as quickly as it once was. They're forecasting 16% revenue growth in fiscal 2025, in part due to execution risk as it converts some of these large cloud customers. I see no problem here. Company says growth should improve in 2026 once they're past this. If so, my 6 will end up being too low. But until we actually see that, and it's more than just saying it, I struggle to go any higher, at least for now.
If you're wondering what recapitalization means, that basically means take on some debt. Take on some debt and repurchase some shares ultimately with it.
Yes, that is exactly what that means.
It's much nicer than going to debt. But David, let's talk valuation. How well will Atlassian stock do over the next 5 years? How safe is it? 10's a sure thing. 1's a lottery ticket.
Yeah, so I actually think I'm an Atlassian bull. I think they can generate more than 15% returns. There is risk associated with the company and the stock, so I gave the safety score a 6. Analysts are looking for almost 20% annual growth over the next 3 years, and I think with as AI becomes a bigger part of their platform, there's a decent chance that those expectations could exceed those expectations, and we could see a little bit of re-expansion of their valuation multiples, especially from an enterprise value to sales standpoint.
I'm definitely positive, a little more cautious with the 10 to 15%. I do wonder if it's kind of the law of large numbers and competition combined to, make the odds of super accelerated growth, they're kind of taking the other side of David's bullishness. But I do believe in the stickiness of those products. I don't think Microsoft can just come in and do to them what Teams did to Zoom. So I'm not too worried about it. I come out believing that if they execute as planned, this is a solid market beater. So yeah, 15% on the high side. But, look, a part of it is I'm putting my faith in management to execute, which isn't a lock, which brings my safety down to a 4. If things go wrong, there is downside from here. It's not guaranteed by any means.
Time for everyone's favorite topic. David, is there a company in Atlassian space that you like more?
So I wouldn't say more, but I would definitely say in addition to, and that's Monday.com. Their collaboration software has been delivering great performance, and I think it's one everybody should have on their watch list.
Yes, I've said Microsoft a few times. I know they're not exactly in the same space, but they're in every space. They do have some competing products, and it's just so many ways to win. And I might be controversial here, but I think the best CEO in big tech. So both great companies, but if I just like having Microsoft and letting it roll in.
Satya Nadella is certainly in the running, even if someone has someone higher. Thanks to both David and to Lou. They've given Atlassian an impressively solid overall score of 7.2 out of 10, with some hope for good returns from here. Both had high returns, but also a decent amount of safety risk. Look out for a new scoreboard every market day at 7 p.m. Eastern. Next up is Wabtec. Till then, Fool on.
My favorite ticker was a company called Dynamic Materials, and they did explosive welding, and their ticker was Boom.
I love a clever ticker, but you got to be careful when it becomes the greatest asset a company has. And I'm looking at you, Thomas Siebel.
AI.